On this episode of Regular Guys Podcast, the NFL season is back and we are so excited. Join us as we talk about NFL news and injuries to keep you up to date on what's happening around the league. Also, too, it's never too early to talk award predictions. Join us as we look at who we feel can win the MVP and also the Coach of the Year. Spicy predictions, anyone? It's time. Insert our bold predictions this year as we talk about who we feel is either going to get fired or have a breakout season. As always, make sure you like, subscribe. Now on to the show.
You are now listening to
Regular Guys Podcast.
It must be Wednesday because Regular Guys Podcast is back, ladies and gentlemen. As I say every week, RGP is the place to be. You know how I am, Matty Ice, back in the flesh. We are back, but this time with a guest. Now, you guys may know this man from last year's episode of Bold Takes. So you're either going to be very excited that he's back, or you're going to say, what are we doing? Either way, we have a spicy show for you. Fez, please tell the people what is going on, man.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me back again. Excited to be here for some more bold, spicy takes. You know, I was the one that said Andrew Luck was never going to play another game.
He did, and I'm still crying for that. Crying for that.
There's some other ones I can't remember off the top of my head, but you know, you got to throw a lot of darts at the board if you want to get one correct once in a while.
Yeah, for sure. We're all going to get spicy on this one, so we're definitely looking forward to it. You know the gentleman here each and every week. Sean, let the people know what's good, man.
What's going on, guys? Excited to be back. Thank you for listening. We got a good episode here. Enjoy these takes, or like me, roll your eyes.
Yes, the fun thing about it is we didn't tell each other what our takes were, and that's going to be the enjoying part of this whole entire thing.
Yeah.
So you guys will get our clear-cut, raw emotions as to how we feel about each other's takes. But hey, I can't leave out my main man here. Jake, tell the people what's good, man.
What's up, guys? Super excited for the show. First of all, excited because football is tomorrow. You guys see the episode, so that's going to be exciting. First game of the year, it's a good one too. It's not like it's a crappy game either. But fantasy football is also starting, so I'm excited about that. Yeah, there's a lot to look forward to this first week going into the NFL season. So let's kick it off with a good show.
Sir, yes, sir. But hey, first and foremost, we want to give a big thanks to you guys, the regulars. Killed it once again, 71 views on YouTube, over 11 plays on places like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. The road to 50 subs is still living on, sitting at 44 right now. We have you guys to think about. So to begin with our show, we're going to move into the NFL injuries and other news to start us off. Gentlemen, week 1 is literally tomorrow as this podcast comes out on Wednesday morning. We get to start off with a big bang of the Rams and the Bills, the defending champs, with which some people may look at as the future champs in the Bills. But it's only right we cover the NFL injuries to get you guys up to date also, and to have a look into maybe your fantasy leagues if you've already drafted. To start us off, James Robinson will play week 1 after recovering from his torn Achilles. Packers receiver Allen Lazard has an undisclosed injury. Head coach LaFleur says team will see where he's at as the week progresses. Ravens star left tackle returns to the field for the first time since coming off the PUP list. That's Ronnie Staley. Good news for Bucks fans. Bucks wide receiver Chris Godwin has started practicing without the knee brace. Zach Wilson could play week 1. Head coach Robert Saleh says Zach Wilson went through a workout today, and we'll see how his knee responds. Speaking of that Bills and Rams matchup, Rams head coach Sean McVay says Stafford is ready to go for week 1 and has no limitations. And also Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson are good to go as well. Titans fans, another major blow. Harold Landry tore his ACL last Wednesday and will miss this 2022 season. And Colts star linebacker Shaq Leonard was removed from the PUP list last week and has been practicing with his eyes towards the Houston Texans for this week. Fez, all these injuries, whether good or bad, any of these stand out to you as far as something to be concerned for or good news for that team?
I would say it's probably good news for Jacksonville to have James Robinson back. He's definitely been a good rusher, and Etienne is still a unproven quantity. I mean, he got hurt before even starting last season, so it'll be good for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Jake, what about you?
Not really too concerning, but like for the Jets with Zach Wilson, just as a Jets fan, not really gonna push him. It's week one. Like if he's kind of not feeling it, why push him? I mean, yeah, Joe Flacco's 45 years old, but I mean, I'd rather still just let Wilson rest one game. I'd rather him heal up 100% than risk it and something happen and he's out for the season. So I just don't feel like risking it week one.
For sure, for sure. I'm sure Mr. Joe would like that opportunity to show that his one-hit season wonder was no fluke, but we all think he's pretty done. So
Yeah.
But in other news, Jimmy G, have no fear, is staying in San Fran. If you're a Trey Lance owner, if you're Trey Lance, hey Trey Lance, I don't know how you're feeling about this. Apparently, you were not feeling the best after hearing he was staying. Cowboys, hey, you have a washed-up left tackle that is coming to save the day. Sean, I know you're happy about that one. Jason Peters to the rescue after Tyron bone muscle came off the bone. Smith will be out for majority of the season. And last but not least, Ravens and quarterback Lamar Jackson have made some new progress on a deal. Sean, is Jason Peters the answer to the Cowboys offensive line?
No, he's not going to be the answer. I'm happy with the pickup. I know he's going to be on a practice squad for a couple of weeks because I guess if you play after week 2, you don't have to pay as much money. So we're getting him for a bargain deal. We'll see what he can come up with. I mean, anything can help right now. So I'll take it. Maybe just for his leadership only, but I'll take it. We'll see what happens. But I don't think it's a huge move. But hey, anything's better than nothing right now.
Yeah, I would agree. Fez, I'm curious as to what your thoughts are on Jimmy G staying for a year. Now, it was rumored after all, off season that he was going to be out. So many teams rumored to be in the Jimmy G sweepstakes. I know Indy was a part of it, but the shoulder surgery and the injury was just lingering. But the 49ers came out and said, hey, Trey's our guy. What do you think this means for Jimmy G and the Niners going forward?
So there's a lot of things that actually unpack with this deal. Is the first thing is that if Jimmy G hadn't needed that surgery, I'm sure he would be on another team right now. He would have been traded. And secondly, is that Jimmy G, he's loved in that locker room. That locker room loves him. He was voted captain and all these other things. So Trey Lance needs to be looking over his shoulder, because if things go awry, guess who's going right back in? Because that team will turn on the coach and say, why isn't this guy playing? We know he's better. And the third thing is that the 49ers, while Jimmy G had a no trade clause, they could be able to deal him. Let's say a quarterback goes down or something like that. If Jimmy G has a chance to go to a winning team, I'm sure that he'll want to be dealt.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I looked at it as a insurance policy. Like you mentioned, if something happens, Trey's not playing well, we all know he is, I wouldn't say a run-first quarterback, but he's definitely mobile, a lot more mobile than Jimmy G. So the running aspect is there. One good hit, one good slide wrong, tweak of the, muscle, bone, whatever you may have, and he's out. this is Jimmy G. This is, again, no slouch. I know we all give Jimmy G a little bit of a bad rep, but let's not forget this is the same guy that took them to the Super Bowl. I get it, didn't win it, but it's also the same guy who, again, last year was maybe a couple throws away from taking them back. So I do think your reasoning on that is also, I would agree with you. And who knows, if a team comes calling, let's say the Browns, that they're hovering around there and they kind of want to get a guy until Watson comes back in December, Jimmy G may be the guy, because obviously Brisket is not. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go into our award predictions. So we got a couple of awards. Obviously, we know that there are a bunch of them, but we kind of wanted to highlight the main big ones. And you're going to see our input on who we feel is going to win each award, why they're going to do so. Again, this is a section that we didn't go over as far as who we each pick. So you may see some who have the same, some may not. Obviously, agree to disagree. We will take it from there. But we're going to start with Coach of the Year. Jake, let the people know who your Coach of the Year for the 2022 season is.
All right, so Coach of the Year, one of the guys here is going to be really happy and probably shocked that I picked them. But I have Mike McDaniels winning Coach of the Year for the Miami Dolphins. That team has the weapons to do something special this year. It's all a matter, though, if Tua can be the guy. It's kind of hard for the quarterback to be the guy and have confidence when the original coaching staff didn't even want him there, didn't trust him. I can imagine how they talked down to him also probably in the locker room. That confidence doesn't help, especially when you put your body out there. He went through so many injuries and still tried his hardest. So having a coaching staff that not only loves him, but named him captain this past week too. Like, that's also something that people need to be aware about. Like, they really believe in this guy. So to have that, the Dolphins could do something special. But I do have a sleeper pick also, Kevin O'Connell of the Vikings. He came from the Rams offense. I really think the Vikings are going to do something special this year. So we'll see if that happens. But yeah, those are Mike McDaniels to win it, and then Kevin O'Connell as a sleeper.
Actually, a really good, solid pick of Mike McDaniels. I'm always going to be a fan of that guy because his presser back when he was with the Niners, they had a guy, reporter Mike Jones. And the reporter came on, and he was, Mike Jones, and Mike McDaniels was like, who? Mike Jones. So that guy right there is always going to have a good place in my heart. Fez, Coach of the Year candidate, who are you feeling is going to win it for you?
I mean, check your pulse if you're not excited. Mike McDaniel, come on. He's got
Ooh, for Mike McDaniel. Now,
and I mean,
now, does this have anything to do with you being a Dolphins fan?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Respect.
Home bias with this, but just what Flores was a good coach. He was able to coach up his team, but I mean, we went through 3 coordinators through 3 years. How is any quarterback going to be successful through that? McDaniels is a players coach. We still have the defense in place, and our offense just got better. I think he's going to coach him up, and I think he is going to be the Coach of the Year. I do have a dark horse pick. I think it's going to be Doug Peterson. If it's not Mike McDaniels,
I like that.
I think Doug Peterson. I think the Jaguars are going to be much better. Trevor Lawrence is going to be much better, and he will improve that team that was a disaster with Urban Meyer last year.
That's actually a really good dark horse pick.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that a lot, actually. I feel like Doug Peterson gets a little bit of a bad rap with how his final season in Philly ended up. I mean, you had a stubborn Carson Wentz, and Jalen Hurts was a rookie. So yeah, but I do like, he's got a clean slate, a fresh palette to work his mojo with Trevor Lawrence. So I like that. Sean, now look, Sean, if you say Mike McCarthy, we will pause this podcast right now, bro. So please Prove me wrong that you're not going to say it, or prove me. Just take it away, please. Take it away.
So I am going Mike McCarthy. No, I'm just playing.
Oh, nice.
I'm going actually, you'll be happy, Frank Reach over at the Colts. I'm a believer.
Whoa.
Yes, the reason why
Hmm.
here is I'm a believer in, they were 9-8 last year. I think they're going to win 12 games this year. I think they're going to be either the 1 or 2 seed in the AFC. And I think
Man,
Buffalo Bills were
stop.
already that, they were there. They were 12, I think 12 wins last year, 13 wins. So I still feel the Bills will win the AFC, but I think the Colts going to be right there with the same record as them. And I believe record matters. I do like the Jacksonville coach Peterson pick too as a dark horse. That was my dark horse as well. But yeah, I'm going with the Colts. Frank.
I like that. And I'm sure Jonathan Taylor right behind me would also like to hear that, Frank Reich will be your coach of the year. I gotta say, I wanted to go into this with no bias, and I'm not saying that, if you guys chose your head coach for it, that it's because they're all very good. Mike McDaniels, that's a very good pick. I went with the easy one. I went Sean McDermott out of the Buffalo Bills head coach, because I do feel, like you said, it is very likely or very high that they will make it to the Super Bowl. And there's a lot of the pieces there, whether it's offensively, you have Stephon, Gabe Davis, Isaiah McKenzie, three-headed monster in the backfield. It's going to be an exciting year for Buffalo fans. And I do think they can get over that hump of beating the Chiefs, especially when it matters in the playoffs. So I'm going to go with him for coach of the year.
Like it.
Now I have a sleeper pick that mirrors Fez's dark horse. My sleeper pick, Dan Campbell of the Detroit Lions. There's a lot of great pieces there. Yeah. And Dan Campbell is just one of those that I think he's a great team builder, and putting the pieces to make them work. I feel good about the Detroit Lions and what they have with him leading them going forward into this season. But you guys let us know down in the comments who you feel your coach of the year candidate is. And also let us know if you agree with us. Moving on to our offensive rookie of the year. I'll start us off here. This one kind of went back and forth with me, and it was between two receivers. But at the end of the day, I can't ignore the elephant in the room. George Pickens is, in my opinion, a man amongst boys. Now, Pittsburgh develops great receivers. It's almost the same reason why they never sign them to big money, because they can literally grab one from college, plug them into their season, instant pro. George Pickens, aka NFL young boy, although you are a Georgia Bulldog, I will continue to hold that against you. I have you winning offensive rookie of the year. Despite whoever the quarterback is, looks like it's going to be Mitchell Trubisky. Was named, I believe, was voted as a captain for the team. Whether it's Pickens or what's his name? Pickett?
Kenny Pickett?
Pickett or Trubisky?
Yes. No, whether it's Trubisky or the kid out of Pitt,
Yeah.
Whoever's playing quarterback, even if it's Mason Rudolph, I just think George Pickens is going to be really good for them this year.
Yeah.
My honorable mention was Chris Olave. And because of the attention that Kent Guard Mike and Jarvis Juice Landry are going to get, the deep bombs, and we all know Jameis loves to go deep, is going to be there. But I also think he's a good slot guy also too, and I think that's where he's really going to take advantage of every team's nickel corner as much as he can. Sean, who do you feel is going to be your offensive rookie of the year?
I'm actually going with the receiver as well, and a fellow SEC guy from Arkansas. I'm going to Treylon Burks from Tennessee. I like him. I do like him. I was just watching some of his film. I think with AJ Brown being gone, he's going to be the number 2 receiver there behind Robert Woods. I think he's going to get a lot of attempts. I think he's explosive. He's 6'2", 6'3", 225, big body, runs a 4.4. I just think he's going to get a lot of touches. And I'm excited to see what he does. But he definitely has some jets on him. And yeah, I know it's a little out there, but I just looked at the whole picture and saw, Julio Jones is gone, AJ Brown. They don't have a lot of weapons out at wideouts, and I feel like he's going to get a lot of opportunities.
Now, the only pushback I would have is, and it's not that, he's in the same division. It's just from the moment he got to camp, it just has not been great from what I've been hearing. But there has been a little bit, report that,
I just heard,
factored into the offense in a big way.
Yeah, not to cut you off too. I was just reading an article this morning where they said that he's going to be a big part of their offense too. So, maybe it seemed like things are getting better for him. But yeah, I know it's a little out there, but I read that article on him this morning and watched some film on him a little bit this morning. And yeah, I'm going to give it to him. I just feel like he's going to get a lot of opportunities. That's why.
Yeah. I mean, that's not bad. Go ahead, Fizz.
If you remember, there wasn't a lot of good news about Ja'Marr Chase coming out of training camp either.
I was just about to say that. Yeah. I was just about to say that. Yeah, he couldn't catch. And we all see how that turned out for him. So, hey, we'll see. But, Fez, while you have the floor, who is your offensive rookie of the year?
I'm going with a running back. I'm going with Dameon Pierce. I think he's going to be, for the Texans, the next Arian Foster. He's going to be blowing it up in the backfield and being basically most of that team's offense. I know it's a little out there, but he already has a starting job. Coaches are impressed, and quarterback, so he's going to be running a lot.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad pick at all. I can't fault you for that pick.
Yeah, not mad at it.
Yeah, I got no pushback. Jake, offensive rookie of the year.
So I went with Drake London for the offensive rookie of the year. Reason being, besides Kyle Pitts, who's catching the ball. There you go. So just out of pure volume, someone's gonna have to be there catching the ball. I think just out of needing somebody else to be there, Drake London's just automatically gonna put up the numbers that you need to win the rookie of the year. But my dark horse was George Pickens also, because his talent is just ridiculous. And like Matt said, Pittsburgh just does amazing things with wide receivers. So he's in a perfect spot there. But Drake London, just because I know, Mariota is Mariota. We all know what you're going to get out of him. Ritter, we have no idea. It might be a slower process for him before he starts to get it going. But just like I said, out of just him being the only guy there besides Pitts, just because of opportunity, I can see he put up those numbers to win the award.
Yeah, and I could see the simple fact of teams could double Pitts and say, London, we want you, to beat us. So I get what you're putting down there. Honestly, gentlemen, I don't really see any of our picks as too far-fetched. Obviously, I had a slight little pushback of Treylon Burks, but, like Fez mentioned last year around this time, Ja'Marr Chase couldn't catch a football to save his life. And we all know how that man ended up playing. Not saying Treylon Burks is going to be the next Ja'Marr Chase, but you just never know. Yeah. Jake, while you have the floor, defensive rookie of the year to you will be going to.
So, defensive rookie of the year, I picked Kayvon Thibodeau, the New York Giants. Just out of, when the Giants draft a pass rusher that high, or just any pass rusher that has a lot of potential, they most of the time end up being great. So it's just the way the Giants work. They just groom pass rushers really well. We just haven't had the chance to draft one. So to be able to get a guy like that, I feel like it just fits. He fits that New York Giants system, just being a guy from New York. So that's why I picked him. Yeah, it was kind of a homer pick, but at the same time, I could just see it working, just how he plays.
Yeah, I got you. I like it. Fez, defensive rookie of the year, in your opinion.
I think it's going to be Ahmed Sauce Gardner. I think everything that we've been hearing about him, they don't want to throw him the ball. He's not targeted. This sounds like he could be a lockdown corner.
I like it.
Now, are you saying that Mr. Sauce is the next best thing since Revis Island?
No, not saying that.
Oh.
But I think he might be one of the next. He could be the next J.C. Jackson.
I like that comparison.
I'll take it.
I can see that. Yeah. I mean,
I'll
shoot,
take
any
it.
rookie would take, yeah, JC, Jackson comp, especially rookie year type stuff. But yeah, I like it. It's not bad. Sauce Gardner, Fez's defensive rookie of the year. Sean, defensive rookie of the year, in your opinion, will go to?
I'm going with the Michigan boy, Aiden Hutcherson, out of Detroit. I think he's, the number 2 pick. He's just listen to this: 6'7", 265 pounds. His 4-time is a 4.7. He's a homer. He's born in Michigan, so he's playing for his hometown team. I just think he's going to be a beast. I'm hearing great things about him. And like you said about Detroit, I think they're going to be a sleeper this year. And I think their defense is going to, win some games for them this year. And I like Hutchinson a lot.
It's actually funny. I really wanted to go Aiden. I really wanted to, but I looked at a little bit of a bigger. I didn't want to just stick to the first round. Now, like Jake, I used a homer pick. My defensive rookie of the year is going to go to Indianapolis Colts safety Nick Cross. I'm not saying Nick Cross is going to be the next Bob Sanders, but when I see this guy play, he reminds me a lot of Bob. Not as far as a hitter. Now, we all know Bob Sanders was known for laying the wood and, just really striking fear into offensive players. But man, Nick Cross is super fast, will put his shoulder in there to tackle, but can also cover. Maybe that's one thing he's a little bit better than Bob Sanders. Bob Sanders, I felt, was a clutch coverage safety, more so again known for sticking his nose in there against the run and making the big hits coming across the middle. But yeah, I wanted to go a little bit out of the first round. And again, I like and the fact that he's competing for the starting job as a safety. The kid's only 20, coming out of Maryland. I don't really know many safeties doing that. And to pair him up against another safety who a couple years ago was turning heads that the Colts picked in the 3rd round, Julian Blackmon. Hopefully the Colts have a dynamic duo at safety for years to come. But yeah, it's not really honorable mention. Aiden Hutchinson would be my other pick, because as you mentioned, the measurables, they just scream freaking nature. They really do. They really do just scream freaking nature. So you guys let us know, regulars, down in the comments, who your defensive rookie of the year is going to be. Moving on to our offensive player of the year. For me, it's so easy to want to say Cooper Kupp, the guy standing right behind me, Jonathan Taylor. I am going to go with Mr. Justin Jefferson. Anytime you can get a McVay disciple, so to speak, you just can only think of the many wonders of where Justin's going to be lining up. I'm not saying he's going to be as great as Kupp, but there's a great opportunity for him to do so, lining up in the slot, outside, wherever. I just get Cooper Kupp vibes as far as the route tree and what they're going to be able to do with him. And especially because of the simple fact they have Adam Thielen, Irv Smith, Cook. So it's not like defenses can just single in on Justin. And it was the same with the Rams. Robert Woods before he got hurt, insert Odell, even Van Jefferson, was there. So it really, not that, Cooper couldn't do it regardless, but I just have a really big feeling that Justin Jefferson is going to have his I'm top 3 and I'm not 3 moment this year. Sean, who is your offensive player of the year?
I did a lot of time of thinking on this one. It's going to be a little bit of a surprise one, but I'm actually picking Najee Harris from Pittsburgh. I think he's going to get a lot of touches this year. I think he's going to get a lot of touches this year. I think he's going to lead the NFL in rush yards this year, and he'll be up there with the touchdowns as well. But yeah, my pick's Najee Harris. I know it's a little bit of a, he's not in the favorites, but I really think he's going to have a huge year this year. And I think he's going to kind of have like a Taylor year, honestly. Maybe not as good, but I think, that's going to be his, this is going to be his breakout year. So I'm going Najee Harris on this one.
It's not a name that I feel like you would think about, but I like it because it's different.
Yeah.
So I got nothing to say, bad about that one. Fez, is your offensive player of the year? Is this guy on the Dolphins?
Oh, yes, he is.
How did I know?
Yeah.
How did I know?
You give me a hard time, dude.
You know what? You got a homer pick of
I did.
Defensive rookie of the year that you're comparing to Colonel Sanders, but he doesn't have the 11 herbs and spices and all that stuff. So offensive player of the year, it's going to be Tyreek Hill. He's going to prove that it wasn't Mahomes that just made him. He's going to be lighting it up, and he's going to be making Tua look probably a lot better than he actually is playing. I think he's got all the fundamentals, and honestly, they can't guard Waddle and Hill. It's not like in Kansas City when they could just double Hill all the time and double Kelsey and then not have to worry about Pringle and I can't remember the other guy's name. Coleman? Is it Coleman? I can't remember. Anyways, ultimately though, the offensive player of the year shouldn't just be whoever the MVP is. I mean, how can you have an MVP and then it be
I agree.
player of the year? But
yeah,
Hill's not the MVP, obviously.
Yeah, I agree there. I agree. Yeah, it should definitely be separate. Hopefully they can finally do that to where it's, a separate, but we'll see. Jake, chomping at the bit, offensive player of the year, in your opinion, will be?
Well, first of all, I was going to go with somebody that you said, Matt, but then I heard Sean's pick, and his was a little off the board, and then I heard Andrew. I was like, oh, so we're starting to get a little spicy as we're getting out of this, the subject. So I'm like, let me get a little spicy. Let me take it back. Let me take it to my home team, too. All right, let me take it to New York.
Oh, no.
And we're going to go to the Giants.
Oh, God.
And Saquon Barkley is going to be offensive player of the year. He has a better O-line this year, probably the best O-line he's had in his career. He's finally had a full OTA, training camp, preseason that he hasn't had in 2 seasons. So with all that being there, and Danny Dimes needs to play for a contract. He's playing for a job. So if he wants to have any kind of successful numbers, he will feed Barkley. Barkley's going to boost his passing yards. Doesn't mean he's going to throw bombs, but if you want to get the yardage, you want to get the touchdowns, it's going to be your playmakers, which are Barkley and possibly Kadarius Toney. So you have to get those guys the ball. If you want a job, you want to have a paycheck, you got to put up some numbers. So if you're going to do that, you got to feed those 2 guys because they can do magical things with the ball in their hand. So since we want to get a little spicy a little bit, we want to pick some homer picks, I decided to go that. In reality, I wrote Justin Jefferson down, but after I heard these picks,
we go. Thank you.
After I heard these picks, I was like, all right, let me get a little spicy. So I said Saquon Barkley. But originally, I had Justin Jefferson, but just to be a little different from Matt, I picked Saquon Barkley.
When was the last time a offensive player of the year won it on a 4-win team?
Fatality.
I don't know, but I don't think the Giants are going to be a 4-win team.
Oh, no. He's got a point there, man.
Was he? I mean, unbiased, man. There's
got-
no unbiases here. All three of you guys are just unbiased, man. I'm the
I
one
don't
wearing
know,
the
man.
Cowboy jersey, but I'm not throwing Cowboys out there.
I
Come
love
on
Barkley.
now.
Don't get me wrong. I love Barkley. I would say Barkley is more of a real deal candidate for comeback player of the year. But Fez does make a valid point. And it's not going to be because of Barkley that the team is that bad. It is a work in progress. And obviously you have the right offensive minded coach. So I do feel you are headed in the right direction. It's just you gotta let Danny go. But I
For sure.
understand Tyrod's always hurt. If it's not the lungs, it's the back and the hip bone connect to the knee. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. But yeah, it's gonna be kind of difficult to get.
No, believe me, I know it's crazy. I know it's wild.
Like
I'm not expecting anyone to
5'4".
agree, but I'm just saying since
I get it. Yeah,
I
get it.
I don't like Danny Dimes. I said that. I'd rather Tyrod Taylor start. I don't want Danny Dimes to start. I've been saying let Tyrod start.
Agreed,
But like I said, if Danny Dimes has to start and you have your offensive weapon in Saquon Barkley, he's going to get you positive yards, positive numbers. He's just going to help you, so you have to feed him. It's not really an option.
I do agree with you that the offensive line did improve. With Neal playing,
Andrew Thomas ends
right
up
tackle.
Yeah, Andrew Thomas right now is better than Mekhi Becton, and Mekhi Becton was picked way before him.
Yeah, I agree.
So he's turned out to be a solid lineman.
Yeah, but Jake, while you're there, please let the world know who the MVP for the 2022 season is going to be, and I promise you, if you say Zach Wilson, we will turn this off, and we will just call it a night.
So you said MVP, right?
MVP.
All right.
Most valuable player. You cannot win that award with 3 wins on the year.
So MVP goes to. I'm still on the fence with this. I have 2 guys here. So the 2 guys that I'm fighting with, and I've been fighting all day because I have it written down, and I have a slash. So I'm like, can they be co-MVPs basically? But it's
Herbert. 1A, 1B.
Yeah, it's Herbert and Burrow. I feel those 2 are going to be fighting for MVP this year. But I'm going to give the notch to Herbert. Just out of this division this year is really going to make you mature into the player you either want to be, or it's going to make you a bust almost. I don't think Herbert is, but that's just telling you how tough this division is this year. You have to grow up and you have to start being an NFL quarterback. So start making plays, start moving the ball, start winning games. So that's why I think it's going to happen. And then Burrow is just going to take the next step from last year. Like that offense, they know they were, like Matt said a few episodes ago, or maybe last week, probably 2-3 seconds away from winning the Super Bowl because Jamar Chase burned Ramsey. So that taste of, man, I could have been the one winning a championship. They're going to be wanting to. I wouldn't be shocked if they're back. Either of these teams are in the Super Bowl. But yeah, so I'm going to go Herbert just for the conversation.
That's not bad. That's not bad. I thought you were going to say, I'm a little shocked with the Burrow one, just a little bit, but not like super, like, oh, wow, I can't believe you just said Joe Burrow. But it's not bad. Fez, who is your MVP for the 2022 season?
So my MVP is the only person that can win it. It's Josh Allen. He is that offense. I know he's got Stephon Diggs, but honestly, he makes that offense go. That team is the best team in football, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's. And honestly, I don't even really think anyone of us could give some type of pushback there. It's really that case. Sean, what about you? MVP for this 2022 season?
Yeah, I think Fez is the only one that made a smart choice here so far out of all these takes. Josh Allen, he's going to throw. Last year, I think he threw 4,400 yards, rushed for another 700. I expect that to get better on, definitely the passing yards through 37, 38 touchdowns last year. I expect him to get into 40s. I'm picking Josh Allen all day, every day this year. I think I was going to pick him as the offensive player of the year as well, but, I wanted to mix it up a little bit, but, he's the man to beat. I agree 110% with Fez. Josh Allen this is his year.
And I'm going to join the club and join these two gentlemen as well. Josh Allen will be the 2022 MVP. Fez hit it right on the head. You take Josh Allen out of the equation, the team is good. Josh Allen makes it elite.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference there with him playing quarterback. And I think the icing on the cake will be, I have to look at the schedule. I'm not quite sure they play the Chiefs. I want to say they play the Chiefs. I could be wrong. They do play the Chiefs. Yeah, that will be his icing on the cake moment when they beat them finally. And I don't think it'll be a close beat. I do think it'll be Mahomes, it was nice, but it's my time now.
Yeah, they got the
and
Chiefs.
I think it'll be a nice, good, back and forth rivalry going forward with Allen and Mahomes going forward. But yeah, it's just from a passing perspective, Josh Allen. But the fact that you throw in there that the guy's mobile, he's going to score, rushing the ball, he's going to rack up some rushing yards also. I just don't see how it could be anyone else. As much as I tried to fight the fact of, let me see if I can give it to somebody else. I wanted to say Herbert, but I do think Herbert is on that Josh Allen path that it's going to take another year or two for him to join that type, because they do play alike. The styles are very similar. The rocket cannon, being mobile. I'm not there yet. I can see Joe Burrow, his leadership, and but I just feel like this one is a no-brainer, and it's Josh Allen, and it's not even close.
Obviously, Josh Allen is the unanimous QB1 of the entire NFL. Like, that's not no one's gonna go against that. But if you want to say one thing, Josh Allen hasn't made it to the bowl.
Yeah, but the MVP is a regular season award.
No, I get it. But Burrow did it in year 2.
Yeah.
And you can say the Bills have had a better defense.
They do have a better defense. Yeah, they do have a better defense.
So
no, they do.
Rodgers has won it 2 years in a row, and he hasn't been to a bowl since 20.
Well, because Rodgers is on some kind of psychedelic, so we don't
hallucinogenics.
Yeah.
Is this your game?
We know.
But no, I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying, but yeah, it's a regular season award, and I do think the Bills are just going to be that much better. I do agree. I believe it was Fez that said that they are the best team on paper, on field, offensive standpoint, defensive standpoint. Maybe would have been special team standpoint had Mr. Ariza not been in trouble, but obviously he is. So yeah. Hey, but you guys let us know down in the comments if you agree with all of our picks for the awards coming up for this 2022 season. Obviously, again, there are other smaller little awards and whatnot, but we kind of just wanted to cover the big main ones. But now, ladies and gentlemen, Defensive Player of the Year, I'll start. Sean, you might be happy with this one. I got to go Micah Parsons, man. You need somebody to rush the quarterback. He's probably going to rack up another 12 to 15 sacks. You need somebody to get tackles. He's probably going to get about 100 or so sacks, if not more. Take away the ball, he's going to be able to do that too. Micah Parsons is a defensive line linebacker hybrid of what the Honey Badger is. Honey Badger play everything: safety, nickel, corner. I'm pretty sure play a little linebacker, and just is always around the ball. Micah Parsons won Defensive Rookie of the Year last year. It's been TJ Watt, I believe, the last 2 years that's won it back to back. I'm sorry, Mr. Watt and the Watt family. There's a new sheriff in town, and he just so happens to play for America's team. Sean, who do you got for Defensive Player of the Year?
I love that. I really love that. But I agree with you. I was leaning towards Mike. I was going back and forth all day. There's 4 or 5 different guys that can win this award. I was thinking about TJ Watt for a three-peat. Micah Parsons, he, like you said, he racks up the tackles more than, let's say a Bosa or a TJ Watt. They're more of sack guys because of their positions. But I think he's 1 year away. I'm going Nick Bosa. I think Bosa's going to have a big year. He had 15 and a half sacks last year. I think he's going to bring that up to about 17, 18 sacks this year. And I feel like he's going to win the defensive player of the year this year. But I hope you're right. Micah is a freak of nature, and he does a little bit of everything, which I love. But I'm going to go with Nick Bosa. I'm going to say Micah Parsons 1 year away.
I can respect that. I can respect that a lot. Fez, defensive player of the year, in your opinion?
So I'm going to save you guys some emails. TJ Watt just won it last year. Before that was Aaron Donald. It's just so you don't have all those emails filling up your inbox. But
appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons. I mean, he can do it all. And
yeah,
you have IDP in your fantasy draft and you haven't drafted yet on Wednesday. Well, I mean, you should be drafting on the weekend, but if you have IDP, Micah Parsons needs to be your first pick for any defensive player because he's gonna do it all: sacks, interceptions, fumbles, all of it. And what other player can do that? Aaron Donald's not going out in coverage. TJ Watt's not going out in coverage.
Yeah, he's really, again, he's just really unique. When you have not even a linebacker, but a defensive end coming off the edge with 4.3 type speed.
Yeah.
That's scary, man. Like, it's going to be problems for a lot of teams this upcoming season with Micah Parsons. And in year 2, under the same system, the game's going to slow down for him. And that's a scary sight. Jake, defensive player of the year goes to...
So 3 of us picked the same guy, Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is what everyone was hoping Isaiah Simmons would be. He just hasn't turned out. He just hasn't turned out to be that guy. Coverage guy, a guy that can rush the passer. He can do everything you need to be. Isaiah Simmons wasn't that, so Micah Parsons said, "Hey, I'll make sure I'll become that and more." So obviously, I know it's Micah Parsons. As a Giants fan, I hate that he has to be there twice a year. I wouldn't be shocked if in two seasons, maybe, he already has a Hall of Fame resume. Like, you could already say he'll be a Hall of Fame player. That's not something shocking. But I'll throw out a dark horse quickly, and it's the guy that kind of needs it. Or at least a breakout season. Maybe not the award, but a breakout season that could possibly get him the award. It's Brian Burns. This guy really needs to have that kind of season on his resume. Everyone's saying he has the abilities, he has the archetype, he has everything he needs to be that guy. We just haven't seen it yet. But you can tell everyone knows it because everyone hates using like Madden as something like that. But when you look at their ratings and how they just talk about players and all that, he's always someone that is very, very scouted at. People really like him. So I think he's someone it's something he needs to get, at least have that breakout season. But yeah, it's definitely going to be Micah Parsons. I don't think it's going to be a question. Maybe TJ Watt, but I feel like that's kind of like a gimme. I feel like Micah Parsons takes that next step. I wouldn't be shocked if he has 25 sacks and like 10 picks.
Yeah, I feel like defensive player of the year, I feel strongly about Micah as I do with Josh Allen and MVP.
I love it.
Last year, Micah had the sack numbers. I think he probably had more forced fumbles than interceptions. So if he can rack the interceptions up, then it's a done deal. And I'm not even saying you got to get like 8, 10. If you got to get like five interceptions, and let's say like maybe another 5 forced fumbles on top of like 13 to like 15 sacks, 13 to 16 sacks, it's over.
Yeah.
Just sorry, whoever's in second place, you tried your best. We appreciate you.
And Mike
This
has
is the
got
Mike.
that speed. It's not that
Exactly.
he's
The closeout speed is
yeah.
crazy. So we'll see. But again, we are ready for the bold takes for the 2022 season. We brought him back for this episode because it was only right, and it is only right that Fez starts us off with his first bold take for the 2022 season.
All right, so you said to limit them. I came with a lot, so.
Sheesh.
All right, we'll take number one. Bengals don't have a winning season. They don't even make the playoffs.
I was fighting. I wouldn't go that far, but I think they're going to have a little bit more of a down year than people think. Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be such a surprise. Like last year, they were a surprise. Now everybody's knows what they're going against. I did pick them to win the division, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Ravens win that division. Honestly.
Okay. So how we're going to do this? We're going to kind of, take turns here. Some of us got to recuperate.
You said it with a straight face, man. God,
yeah, we got to
like
recuperate from what we're hearing and just Sean, your first bold take for the 2022 season.
My first bold take. This was kind of tough for me to come up with, but because I'm not a big, I'm a realist kind of guy, I like to say. But this one I kind of feel this way, so I put it down. I feel Christian McCaffrey and Baker Mayfield and the Panthers will have a winning season.
I have them in the playoffs.
I have them at 9-8. I think they're going to have a winning season. Nothing crazy, but I think Baker being there. I know, Matt, you're not the biggest Baker guy. I love Baker. I get why people don't like him, but I think a healthy Christian McCaffrey, if he can stay healthy, this is a big if. If he stays healthy, and Baker
Mayfield,
banking on him
staying healthy.
I am.
Okay, yeah,
I am.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So obviously, you would have to make the bold take.
I have them being 9-8 this year. That's my surprise.
I can respect that. There. Yeah, I can respect that. Now, I can respect that. 9-8 in the NFC, I can respect that. All right, Jake. Now, before you go, I'm going to go next. Sean, strap in, buddy. Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy will be fired halfway through the season. Obviously, my take of the Eagles winning the division, yes, before Tyron Smith had the bone injury, all that stuff. Mike McCarthy is just, I'm not even sure this is that bad of a take, to be honest with you, because last week, Sean agreed that he's bad.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be very rough for the Cowboys this upcoming season. And I do think McCarthy will be canned. If I have to put a date on it, I'm going to say end of October. He will be gone. Yeah. And after that point, what's his name? Offense coordinator. I do think Kellen Moore will take over as the interim head coach. And then that's when I feel the Cowboys will start to take off. But I do think it will be a little bit too late as he starts to find his mojo. And I do think Kellen Moore will end up becoming the full-time head coach. But that is my first bold take, is that Mike McCarthy will be fired halfway through the season.
I have him fired in Thanksgiving week.
Can I?
Oh my God, that's so messed up.
I knew Fez would be there with me. If there was anybody, it was going to be him that would agree with me. So I'm glad.
Can I comment on this? Can I comment on this?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So, if the Cowboys play as bad as you guys are saying they are, I hope that would happen. But Jerry Jones doesn't fire people in the middle of the season. He just never does it. I hope it does happen if they stink it up. I know the first 6 games going to be very telling. They got a tough schedule. The first 6 games, the
And
second
that's why I
half of
said
the,
it.
but the second
Yeah.
half of the season, they're very winnable games in that. But Jerry Jones doesn't fire coaches in the season. But if it does happen, if they start off horrible like that, get them out of here. Kick rocks. Get Kellen Moore in there. But
first,
McCarthy,
first time
he's
for
trash.
everything.
He's trash. So that's the
I'm
right
I
there
figured
with
you
you
would
guys.
agree with me on that take
I'm right
of
there
him
with
not
you
being good.
guys.
Yeah.
He don't even know how to call timeouts at the right time. It's insane, dude. We have a quarterback and a coach that can't call timeouts. It's
Yeah,
insane.
man. Yeah. Jake, your bold take for the 2022 season, or your first bold take, I should say.
So I didn't know which route to go with this, but then Audrey came out with, yeah, that was crazy. And I just am still trying to process that. And then you went in on the Cowboys. So I think I'm going to keep it in Dallas.
Oh, no.
So, because the way I have it listed, it kind of flows. I want, as they keep going. So for
got you.
Dallas, I really don't like this team this year. And it's not necessarily Dak being the issue. I like Dak Prescott. I don't think you need to have a top 5 quarterback to even win a Super Bowl. You don't need to be that kind of guy. You just have to have the right team around you, the right coaching staff. So I don't necessarily think it's him. It's just with the subtractions on their O-line, all the injuries they have on the O-line, a lot of question marks behind CeeDee Lamb and the receiving core that's kind of the reasons. And then the defense, besides Micah Parsons, it's kind of overrated if you think about it. It's mainly Micah Parsons. Trayvon Diggs will get you 10 picks, but if you also look at the yards he's going to let up this year, if that was one wide receiver, that'd be like a Hall of Fame season because he probably let up like close to 2,000 yards and several touchdowns. So, but anyways, my take is Dallas ends up being not only the worst team in the NFC, but also the NFL. I think they end up with a top 5 pick in the draft.
I thought my things were going to be spicy.
Yeah, I thought Fez was spicy. That's wow. Okay, wow.
So the Cowboys, I think, are going to have a top 5 defense in the NFL.
I don't see. Besides Micah Parsons, I don't see where that comes from.
I can agree top 10.
Top 10.
I can definitely say top 10. Top 5.
Nah.
It's tough. If you want to say they're at like 7, 8, yeah. Again, I do think it's top 10. I'm not sure about top 5.
And I feel like their defense.
They could be top 5, but for me, for them to be top 5, Diggs has got to stop letting up so many yards into where, he's more so locking them down. Obviously, the picks won't maybe come as much because they're not throwing your way as much, but that's for them to get to top 5, they got to have him be that true lockdown stock corner.
And I feel like the Cowboys defense gets a lot of positive numbers their way just because the division sucks so bad. You have 8 games out of the year that are going to be really bad games, and the Cowboys are probably going to have easy games because of those games. So it's not necessarily like the defense has 8 games out of the year where they can kind of chill. The win's almost a given with how bad the division is. So that kind of helps your stats as a division, and as a defense. But if you take them outside of the NFC East, they're not that good of a team, in my opinion.
Sean's looking at you like, man,
Yo,
Jake.
Sean?
I didn't know tonight. I didn't realize tonight was going to be like, let's talk about the Cowboys. I'm sorry, the Jets and Giants aren't interesting to talk about. It's just, what's the hate? Like, come on, guys, relax.
I mean, you got to understand
relax.
this does come with being America's team, and I think you get used to it. I mean, my dad's a Cowboys fan. I got to hear every year, this is our year.
We them boys.
But to be honest with you, I've always been a pretty as a Cowboy fan, I've never been on the hype train of saying this is our year. I've been reasonable. Now there's been
You're
years
a rare breed.
We might have a chance years, but I don't know where all this hate's coming from, man. This is insane, dude. This is
That's
You're a
insane.
rare
This dude's
breed.
wearing it.
And we only getting started with the hot takes. I'll tell you
You
that
only get
much.
started.
I'm sorry, I don't have any takes on the Jets or Giants, so I mean they weren't interesting enough for me.
Hey, I could throw some takes if you want to.
Goodness.
I know you
Fez, hit
can.
us with your second bold take of the 2022 season, sir.
Right. So this is about the AFC West.
Okay, you
The
caught my
Raiders
attention.
are going to win the division, and the Chiefs will not make the playoffs.
Wait, you said the Raiders?
The Raiders will win the division. The Chiefs will not make the playoffs. I also have the Chargers making the playoffs from the division.
I mean, I like it.
Okay, yeah, I actually like that one.
Everybody likes that.
Sean.
And
Everybody
like
likes
that
that
one.
one.
have
But the
I
Dallas
do have a
Cowboys being the worst team in football.
I do have a Chiefs. Oh no, Dallas being the worst team, I couldn't even see that. I mean, you got
Oh,
teams
this
like the
is
Falcons,
insane,
the
man.
Bears, and
That
yeah,
was way beyond.
Jake's on his own level right there. I like that pick, or I like that bold take. I do have a little bit to say when I go couple picks later on the Chiefs. But yeah, I like that. Especially because I feel like nobody's really talking about the Raiders. So yeah, I like that bold take. I like it a lot, actually. Sean, it's your turn, man. Bold take number 2 for the 2022 season.
Are bold takes supposed to be like what you actually believe, or is this just like make believe stuff?
I believe all this stuff that I'm saying.
Okay, all right.
I
I'd
definitely
say-
believe
I'd
my
say,
take on the Dallas
yeah.
Cowboys. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, well, I don't. I'm not as
I hate
Um,
the Cowboys. We the boys.
My take is I don't think this is too crazy of a take, but I do think I was talking earlier. We didn't go over offensive or comeback player of the year. I got to ask Christian McCaffrey. I think he's going to rush over 1,000 yards and receive over 1,000 yards for the Ford. He's gonna do it twice in his career. There's only been 2 other players that do it. So I think he's going to receive 1,000 yards this year and rush over 1,000 yards this year. It's kind of a realistic pick, but I mean, I guess I'm boring.
Man, I am hoping for that. If that
I was
happens,
gonna say all CMC owners everywhere will gladly. Same here, because I got CMC in the league. But yeah, that's not a bad pick. That's not a bad bold pick. Yeah,
He's done
Sean,
it
you'll learn
once.
these
He's
bold
done it
takes.
once.
Yeah, these bold takes, Sean, are going to get maybe a little bit more spicier, a little bolder as they go on. For instance,
Over to
my next one.
an ethnic, like eat some ethnic
Yeah.
food and it's spicy.
Yeah,
We're gonna get even spicier.
we're about to get even spicier. All right, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Packers fans, Aaron Rodgers will retire after this season to go live his hippie lifestyle.
game?
Got the bag. Wanted to just, I don't know, but Sean mentioned it last week. The more the guy comes out, the more weirder he is, and just he's all over the place. And I think he's coming to grips with himself that I'm perfectly fine with it. And I honestly think, and because of the simple fact, retirement did cross his mind. I mean, the guy was about to go host Jeopardy, for crying out loud. I get it. You were going to get the bag. What is Jeopardy? My guy, like, I don't know. But yes, my bold take, second bold take, Aaron Rodgers will retire after this season to go live his hippie lifestyle. He's already got the hair.
I can see that.
He's on the right path.
And the tattoo.
And the tattoo. Jake, what do you have to follow up with your Cowboys take?
So Rodgers is going to retire because of my take that's right here. Rodgers and the Packers will finish 3rd in the division.
Oh, and that's why he retires.
And that's why he retires. He can't take losing. So he dips, goes, does his thing, and he finishes 3rd in the division. Great defense. That's it. Not really much to say
Okay.
there. Great
I'm actually kind of
defense.
shocked that we both, so far, we got, a couple of where we're on the same page. I guess it's because we talk to each other a lot
Yeah.
and we hear a lot of these. So it's not that, I guess that's shocking. Anybody got pushback on the A-Rod retirement? Nope.
Yeah, I got pushback. I got pushback on everything.
Sean's like,
Everything that's
don't
been
get
said,
me
I got
started.
pushback on. This is the. I don't know what kind of twilight zone I'm in right now. They're gonna win a division. I already said this. I mean, what do you want? We don't bet.
I
but
told you guys
did.
it was going to get spicy, man. It's not. It's just getting started. Fez,
We'll see week
both-
one against
Yeah,
the
we will
Vikes.
see.
Packers
No,
and
the
Vikes,
Vikings, the Vikings got a bye week. That's crazy.
If they come in and lost, I don't want to hear no excuses.
Fez, take it away with your next bold take for the 2022 season. I think he's got all these.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out which one's spicier.
Trying to get me angry. I know it's.
All right. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out which ones I want to include. Right. I have Browns will win more games with Jake Brisket than they will with Deshaun Watson.
That's. I mean, he's suspended for 11 games, so like
Sean-
I'm not gonna disagree with that. I think Watson's gonna come in and struggle for a couple games.
Yeah.
So, by the time he comes
Yeah.
back, it's gonna be week 12. He's gonna have 2-3 bad games. I mean, so what? He gets one or two
I don't think
wins?
he'll. Yeah, I don't think he'll be.
Not that spicy. That's not that
his first
spicy.
game.
All right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
his
it
first
is
game coming
spicy
back
if you
is
think
against
Brisket's
Houston.
going to win more than 2 games.
Hey,
I get that.
I guess. Yeah, I guess.
Out of the 11 games,
Look,
you think he could win
okay,
2?
okay, Fez, that's a little spicy. Okay, that's a little spicy. You tamed it
spicy.
down this time, though, so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since I tapered down, I'll throw another one. Rams don't win more than 7 games.
All right.
Okay,
Okay.
now we
That's-
are getting spicy, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh gosh.
Wow. Now, Fez, before you say anything, does the Stafford injury have anything to do with your take?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, I can respect it then. I can respect that.
They say that nothing's wrong and everything. That's week 1 talk. You say everything's good. You don't give anything away before week 1. Stafford has a lingering injury. That's a baseball injury.
Yeah.
Something is going to not be right with him all season long. That's the conflicting reports. They say that he's fine. We've heard that he could be dealing with this all year long. I don't think this will be sustainable for that offense.
Because of the injury aspect, I can honestly say, okay, I can see that. Had he not been, with the injury and the fact that it is a baseball type injury, yes, I can see it. I'm not going to say I agree. I do think they have a little bit of a comeback down to earth, following the Super Bowl season. But I can respect that because of all the reports you said, leading up to the game on Thursday night. So anybody else?
Also with that, really quick before anybody else, Aaron Donald, he was thinking about retiring. He's got the championship. His heart's not in it anymore. If you're contemplating retirement, that heart's gone. Tom Brady didn't contemplate retirement leaving the New England. He went to the Bucs and then won a Super Bowl. Aaron Donald, his heart's maybe not into it. They got weaker on the wide receiver front.
I can understand it. Sean?
Okay,
Bold take?
my bold takes are a lot tamer than your guys's, but let me ask you guys a question first, before I give you the take. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the last 2 years, who has been their red zone threat?
I'd probably say Gronk or Evans.
Yeah,
Evans.
Gronk. What's that?
Mike Evans.
Yeah, Mike Evans, Gronk, right?
Mhm.
My take is, I feel like Brady went to, Gronk and Evans pretty much 50-50 in the red zone. I mean, I think we would all kind of agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mike Evans leads the NFL in receiving touchdowns this year because of the red zone threat. I think he ends up having 20 touchdowns this year. Last year he had 14, so I can see him being the big. You know,
Six
they
more.
got a bunch of other guys that can catch the ball, but I think he's going to be the big red zone threat for them. Now that Gronk's gone, he's going to even get more looks at the red zone. So I got Mike Evans leading the NFL in receiving touchdowns. I'm going to say about 19, 20 touchdowns this year.
I like it. I like it a lot, actually. Like you mentioned, no Gronk. Yeah, they have other weapons, but Godwin was never really that red zone type threat.
Yeah.
He was pretty much more so the guy to get you up to, the red zone. Not to say that Godwin won't score touchdowns, but yeah, I like it. I like it. My next one, Chiefs fans, listen closely. The Kansas City Chiefs offense will suffer without Tyreek Hill. I was not big on them going into this season, and a lot of people say it's just one guy, it's just Tyreek. I get it. I do think Kelsey's still going to be good. I don't think he's going to be as great as past seasons. In my opinion, you're still waiting for Mecole Hardman to break out. And this is what, year 3, 4?
I think 4.
I'm not even going to say he's a great value version of Tyreek Hill at this point. He's just a fast guy. Yes, you signed TikTok superstar Juju Corvette. And he is still going to be focusing on TikToks more than football.
Maybe Mahomes and Mahomes' brother and him could do a bunch of TikToks
They're going to be
together.
TikToking on the sidelines. He's not going to know what's going on. MVS was super up and down, hot and cold with, Green Bay. I just think that Tyreek Hill was that guy who made that engine go because of the fear factor that he struck into your defense. I don't see that anywhere on their team. Mahomes is good, don't get me wrong. And I'm not saying he's the reason. It's just the weapons, in my opinion, are just kind of like Band-Aids. Let's just see what happens. And Travis Kelce is getting older. I just don't think he's going to – I do think he will be their best, but that's because they have nothing really else, especially when you got a receiver over here making TikTok videos during the game. Jake, bold take for the 2022 season.
Trying to see where I'm going to go with this one. Let's have some fun, all right? Andrew's going to like this pick. So I have Miami and the Jets fighting for second place. But Miami, I know, is a better team, and I think they're going to win both games against the Jets. I would like for them to split, but I think Miami takes both games, so that's why they take second place. So Miami's going to take second place in the division. That's my hot take for that, and I don't think the Pats are going to be relevant for a few years. I just don't like the Patriots at all. I don't like Mac Jones. I know he went to the Pro Bowl, but I don't see much in that entire team. Defense is old, but I definitely see the Miami Dolphins finishing second in the division, making the playoffs. Tua ends up being the guy, and they just build from there. That's my take for that.
You're saying that the Jets will have a better record than the Patriots?
Oh, by far. Yeah. I think they double their wins.
He's not just saying that. I'm saying that too.
I think the Jets double the Patriots'
like a
wins.
lot of hatred towards teams around here.
And then the Dolphins are going to have double-digit wins. But I think the Jets will probably win 7-8 games, and the Pats don't win more than 5. That's how I see it. I think the Dolphins, they do win double-digit games.
Yeah,
and I think they split
do too.
I think they split with Buffalo. I don't think Buffalo sweeps them. I think they split with Buffalo. Each team wins.
I'd agree.
A wild card team, yeah.
Yeah, I agree there. I like the take. I do think the Dolphins are going to be the clear-cut second. I do like the Jets going into this year. Do not get me wrong, but I do think they're just another solid piece away defensively from actually being able to contend for that second spot. But I'm all with you 3 or 2 on the Patriots because of the simple fact I think Bill's way worked with Tom. Mac is not Tom. I think there needs to be a new way implemented for them to be successful again. And I don't think they're going to realize that until like another season or 2.
Yeah, the Patriots' big wide receiver splash was Devontae Parker.
Which I love coming out of college, but he just has not been it since.
If Devontae Parker's your wide receiver 1, you have a lot of question marks in that offense.
Yeah. John, you got anything to add there, or should we continue to push on with the bold takes?
Yeah, I'm not big on the Patriots this year. I just think they'll have a little bit better of a record than the Jets, but it could go either way, honestly. But I think far beyond Miami's going to be second in that division.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Miami will be a wild card team this year.
Yeah, I think like 10, 11 wins is probably accurate.
Yeah.
I think the AFC might just be too stacked.
I see that too. Yeah.
But I think the West is going to beat each other up. That's 4 amazing teams in one division. I think they're going to beat each other. I think the winner of that division is going to be maybe 10, 11 wins tops. Yeah. I think, so I think Miami can get in there. I think Miami can possibly get in there. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, Fez, hit us with some of your bold takes.
All right. So I'm just gonna get some quick hitters out of the way. These aren't the biggest things, but I think Malik Willis will take over for Tannehill about halfway through the season.
I like that.
King Henry, not anymore. I think this last year was his final year of being top 5 running back. I think, he's 30, right? I think he's 30. Body just doesn't.
I like that.
Stay there. I had the Patriots for the last team, and the worst team in the East. But for a spicy one, why not? Dolphins are going to be the number 1 offense in the AFC. And I know it's super home.
Who'd you say was? Who's going to be number 1?
Miami, the number 1 offense.
Yep.
Not the number 1 team. Not the number 1 team. He said the number 1 offense.
No, not the number 1 team.
They have a lot of weapons. I like the Miami.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
Yeah,
they're going to get to the championship game.
Okay. All right. That's where that take goes. Okay.
That's a little.
We were like, oh yeah, offense is there. They have the picks, and then he says that. All right.
And I have the Lions making the playoffs.
Oh, same.
Segue. Let me go next because that is my next bold take. I'm there with you. The Detroit Lions will sneak their way into the playoffs. And I say this because of the simple fact. So Sean brought up some good reasons as to why the Panthers could sneak their way. And I definitely could see that. I feel we give Jared Goff this hate. And it's like, no, he's not the best. He's not, there's nothing that he's like, he does extremely well. I get it. This is also the same guy who took, the Rams to the Super Bowl. Again, I get it. They didn't win. But this team of St. Brown, Chark, Reynolds, who's actually a sneaky good receiver, and they're still waiting on Jameson Williams to get healthy, first-round pick out of Alabama. And then you have T.J. Hawkinson, DeAndre Swift, and Jamal Williams in the offensive line that's, I believe, ranked top 10. That's a pretty good team. Like, add to the defense, Aiden Hutchinson. You have some good you have a good corner in Amani. Obviously, we hope that Jeff Okudah can finally live up to that first round status. But I honestly do believe that the Detroit Lions will sneak their way into the playoffs.
Better record than the Packers?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But I don't think the Packers are winning the division. But yeah, I do think they find a way to sneak there. And it's obviously another reason, real quick, is because the NFC really isn't that, it's just not that good. So to get in at 9-8, I don't see why it can't be done, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm there with you on that one. Sean, you got any more bold takes for us?
I do. I have one bold take, and now this is more with my heart. And so I'm going to admit that first and foremost. I'm going to, I'm not going to say, I think there's a chance it can happen, but I'm not going to say it's going to happen 100%. I'm not like,
oh man, you got to say it's
going
to happen. Conviction. That's what the bold takes are for.
Two of these three things are going to happen for the Dallas Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb is going to have 1,600 yards receiving this year. I don't think that's too bad of a take. I mean, he had 1,100 with Amari Cooper out. I think he's going to get a lot more receptions.
I don't think that's bad.
He's going to be that guy. So I say he's going to get around 1,600 yards. I'm going to say Zeke and Pollard both rush for 1,000 yards each.
I hope so.
Because let me tell you why. Last year, Zeke had over 1,000. Pollard had over 700. I think Pollard's going to definitely get more touches as well. And the third thing, y'all are going to hate this. And I'm not even the biggest fan of this person. Dak Prescott will be in the MVP conversation. Let me tell you why. Last year. So tell me if this is good quarterbacking. Okay. Tell me if you just saw these stats up on the screen, because MVP has to do with wins and stats. I believe that they're going to be a 10-win team this year and make the playoffs and win the division. I don't think they're going to be great. I don't think I think they're going to be 10-7 this year. But I'm not saying he's going to win an MVP, because obviously I got Josh Allen. Last year, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 4,500 yards passing. Good or bad? Everybody can agree that's a solid year. Fourth and touchdown passes last year. I think the first couple games he's going to look a little rough. I think he could be in the conversation. Now that's my least out of the three that's going to happen that I'm confident on, but I could see two of the three things happening for my Cowboys.
It's not bad. Honestly, that's not bad.
I feel like the Dak is probably the most confident thing to be in the MVP conversation out of those three things.
Yeah.
Just because
I'm not a big Dak guy, to be honest with you.
Offensive line issues. I don't think that they're going to be able to have those two 1,000-yard rushing seasons. Maybe with 17 games.
Well,
had you said Pollard would have 1,000 receiving, I feel that is more realistic than rushing.
Yeah, but Pollard had 700 last year. And Smith is hurt. But Smith's always hurt. Smith's always in and out of the lineup. So missing him, it's going to be, it's the same thing every other week for us. I think it's going to affect
Connor
us.
Williams.
What's that?
You also lost Connor Williams, who's on the Dolphins.
But
Collins, who is also on the Bengals.
Leo Collins. Okay.
So your main guy, obviously, and one of the best, if not the best guards, Zach Martin. Yes, but now you have a left tackle out of, what was it, Tulsa? Hey, Rook, welcome to the league. Now you got.
But they're saying he's got some talent. Offensive linemen can come out of the into the NFL and dominate. It's not like it's unprecedented. They can. I think two of the three things can happen. I'm not like I said before, I'm not 100% confident on this, but I had to give my one bold take for the Cowboys since I was being unbiased this whole time.
Now you sound like a Cowboys fan.
Jake, end us off with your bold takes, man.
All right, so real quick, read me back Dak Prescott's stats from last year.
37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 4,400 yards passing. All
right. So if I can give you, and you think that's enough to?
I'm saying he's going to have a better year than last year.
Yeah. So last year's production makes you think he can take a step up this year, right?
I already know where you're going to go with this, but yeah.
All right. Kirk Cousins had 4,221 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 picks. He has a better head coach. He has better weapons with Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, and he has Cook. So for that, That's also why I have the Vikings winning the division. Because if you like Dak from his numbers last year, Cousins threw less picks. He
Dak
had
doesn't-
maybe a few less yards, but I'm just saying the numbers are pretty much identical. to
Dak doesn't
Prescott.
have Aaron Rodgers in his division. Dak has Jalen Hurts, Daniel Jones.
Now
Let
look,
me repeat: Daniel
So-
Jones and Carson Wentz. Because every time he throws the ball, I wince.
So
You
then
know-
why isn't Dak Prescott's numbers better?
Why aren't they better? They're solid numbers. What are you talking about? They're solid numbers.
Well, I know what you're saying, but if Dak Prescott was
ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be here all night.
They're solid numbers. I mean, I know you're a Kirk Cousins fans. I was
Mhm.
too when he was with the Redskins. We beat him all the time. I loved playing it. It was a bye week for us every time. Like I
Now
loved.
look.
I'll be honest with you.
Look.
I loved playing against Kirk Cousins, and that's why. Like, do I think
Oh,
Kirk Cousins is a
no.
stat quarterback? I do, but he's going to throw an INT when it doesn't need to happen in the fourth quarter.
all right.
All right,
In my
gents.
opinion. In my
So,
opinion.
Let me get to my bold take so
Okay,
we
I'm
can
sorry.
get.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
you're
sorry, I'm
fine.
sorry.
Really quick. Isn't Dak just the new Kirk Cousins? Isn't that what it is? Though, like,
I don't think so, but yeah.
That's my argument that I've always had. People
Like-
praise Dak Prescott, and they put some people. I'm not saying everyone here.
It's a media
You
thing.
you have some people that will put Dak Prescott in that elite quarterback status.
He's not.
And then they throw Kirk Cousins into the 20 quarterback range. When you look at the numbers, they're pretty much consistent with each other.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm not, and Fez, I'm not a Dak guy. I don't believe in Dak as much. I think he's a very stat light quarterback, like Kirk Cousins as well. I think Dak's a little bit better than he is, though. That's all.
I would agree. Also, I think Dak has a lot more movement than Kirk Cousins, but in my opinion, it's basically the same
Gotcha.
player. And I'm not a big Cousins guy either.
I got
All
you.
right. So my last two bold takes, and then we can go ahead and move on. First one is the Detroit Lions finished second in the division, and they will make the playoffs. Not they'll fight for a playoff spot. They will make the playoffs because they will be second in the division, and it's going to be a gap that's pretty significant. You're going to have the Lions and Vikings in double-digit category, and then you're going to have the Packers and Bears fighting to see who gets the better pick. And then the next bold take, Trey Lance ends up being a bust, and Jimmy G will also end up leaving the San Francisco 49ers, and the 49ers will have to start over completely. Because Jimmy G, in his extension or his contract restructure, made sure there was no franchise tag clause. So they're not going to keep him. He's walking. He basically told them, you can't franchise tag me, so I'm going to walk. So Trey Lance is going to be a bust, and then Jimmy G is going to leave, and what are they going to be stuck with? That's my take. We haven't seen Trey Lance. Everyone's giving him so much hype. We have no idea what's going to happen.
I like Jimmy better personally, but hey,
Jimmy has taken you to a Super Bowl.
I know, man.
Like,
I'm with you on that one, but man, Detroit Lions, golly, guys. I agree with you.
That's the thing. You've
Go
seen
ahead.
Jimmy feeling. Trey Lance could be more. He could be
Yeah.
Colin Kaepernick. And honestly, all he needed is a Colin Kaepernick in his prime to win.
Yeah. Yeah, that is very true. That is very true. I'm gonna say one last thing before we move on to our games of the week. And it's more so towards the Packers Vikings takes. If you think that the Packers just run away with the division, the Vikings always have to, fear them, you would actually be wrong. Kirk Cousins, since playing with the Vikings, is 4-4-1 against the Packers. It is not the Packers that they have a problem with. PJ would if he was here, would literally tell you himself, and we can probably all agree, it is Minnesota who ends up getting in their way every single year. Last little thing, I'm sorry, just real quick. just how every single year the past couple years Chargers always get in their way, they're literally the same in the NFC. The Minnesota Vikings are the Chargers of the NFC. They're just going to find a way somehow to get in their way, but that's why I feel this year for both teams, Chargers and the Vikings, that they will get over that and finally win. Ladies and gentlemen, we told you it was going to get spicy. Yes, it did. Feelings were hurt. Jaws were dropped. Eyes got wide. But hey, you let us know, which bold take did you agree with? Which bold take made you want to pull your hair out? Which bold take made you want to fight one of us? And we will make sure to comment when you comment as well. Also, let us know some of your bold takes for the 2022 season. But gentlemen, again, football is tomorrow as this podcast comes out on Wednesday morning. As I mentioned earlier, Bills and the Rams will kick us off with a banger on Thursday night. But we're going to each mention a game that we are looking forward to. Obviously, could be from our own teams, or it can be a game that you're just really intrigued to watch. I'm going to start off. I'm going to keep it in that division of the NFC North. Packers and the Vikings is a game that I'm looking forward to. As I mentioned, Kirk Cousins has no problem playing against the Packers. They've even won in Lambeau multiple times. 4-4-1. I do think the Vikings will win. And I do think it will be this is our year. This is, I guess you can call it a passing of the torch, so to speak. But I am looking forward to that new head coach. I just feel like they're kind of that new shiny toy with an offensive-minded coach that is just ready to unleash. Fez mentioned Dolphins in his take of having them be the number one offensive team. It really would not surprise me at all if at the end of the year the Vikings ended up with the number one offense, just based off what they have going for them. So that is my game of the week that I am looking forward to. Fez, what is your game of the week for this week?
Obviously, I'm just excited to have football back. I'm probably going to be watching Thursday night, Red Zone Sunday, Dolphins on another screen. But the game that I'm looking forward to, Broncos Seahawks. I want to see Rodgers back to Seattle. And guess what? I'm picking the Seahawks.
Okay.
That should have been on the spicy takes, man. Goodness gracious.
That should have been on the bold takes.
Yeah, it's the bold takes. Yeah.
Week 1, you never know what's going to happen.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's in Seattle. It's in Seattle, so I get that. Yeah, I get that. Sean, your game of the week that you are looking forward to.
I think you made me want to be a Packer fan, and I hate the Packers. I hate them. They got the Cowboys number every year. But you guys and your Vikings, I just want the Packers to beat them so bad. But anyways, I got the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Bucks Sunday Night Football. It's going to be the most watched game of the week. Everybody knows it. The GOAT Brady versus America's team, the most watched team probably the most watched game of the year. But But anyways, that's the game I'm most excited about. To see Tom Brady, to see how he looks. Dallas Cowboys. Either you love or hate them, you're gonna watch them. So that's the game of the week, I think.
Okay. Jake, your game of the week?
It is going to be Raiders-Chargers. Coming out the gate with a big division game.
That was my honorable mention.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. It's prime time for them because it's a West Coast game. You got the 1 o'clock game. It's a fresh start. For us, it's going to be 4:25. But that's a good one. I'm excited. I feel like since it's week 1, like Andrew said, these week 1 games, you never know what you're going to get from these teams. There's still some rust on there, especially with a lot of these starters that probably didn't play a lot of preseason. You're going to have a lot of rust. So this game's either going to be in the 40s, like people are going to either score 40-something points each, or it's going to be a field goal game. I feel like it's one of those. There's not going to be like an in-between just because it's week 1. So everyone's trying to get that rust off.
One thing about the Chargers, though, is they cannot start slow. They have the Raiders and the Chiefs right out of the gate.
Yeah, you have.
100% on that.
For sure.
Yeah, 100%.
You guys let us know, what game are you looking forward to the most? Obviously, we're all excited for football just to be back. But that is going to do it for our main portion of the show. We are now going to get into our hyped section. Hey, we reached out to you guys on our Instagram page and we asked you what were some things you guys were hyped for, and you guys responded. Sir Levon 3.0, and I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, hey, please correct me, please. I welcome it. He said he is hyped for NFL Sunday. And yes, sir, we are also. That Ginger Gazelle also said that he is hyped for winning his fantasy football league. Hey,
That's not me,
we're
guys.
also
I'm a ginger, but that's
hyped
not
for
me.
the same. Yeah, it's not Sean. I actually know this kid.
Okay.
Really cool kid.
Shout out.
Yeah, you know, so we appreciate you guys. Now going into something we're hyped for. Something I'm hyped for. Now look, if you follow me on Instagram, I said Friday, shock the world. You already know what I'm about to say. The University of Florida knocked off the number 7 team in the nation. Nobody thought it would happen. Welcome to the swamp. I'm still hyped. Billy Napier, way to start off his career here with the Gators. I could run through a wall for this guy right now. This is how hyped I still am. Me and Sean were literally texting back and forth during the game. Emotional roller coaster. Again, you can tell through my voice. I'm hyped off of this. We got a hard one again this week. Kentucky at home, ranked still. Do not sleep on Anthony Richardson for Heisman. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah.
That is what I'm hyped for. Football is back. We are back. Fez, let the people know what you're hyped for, man.
All right. I'm hyped for something that would be on ESPN Ocho. You can check it out on YouTube. Guess what? Disc Golf World Championship happened this last weekend. And so 6-time world champion, Paul McBeth, watch it. I kind of spoiled it for you, but if you don't think it's sport, watch it. You're going to have some intense moments, moments of victory. It's great. So check it out on YouTube. But it was fantastic to watch, both men's and women's divisions.
Sweet.
Yeah, man, for sure. Sean, let the people know what you're hyped for, man.
I think we need to give our flowers. I know we mostly talk football. We'll get into basketball, but we need to give our flowers to the GOAT, Serena Williams. She just got tossed out of the U.S. Open. It's her final run. She's the greatest. She changed women's tennis. She's the greatest women's tennis player of all time. I don't think there's any argument there. 23 Grand Slams. Yeah, but man, Serena changes for everybody, man. Serena, she 40 years old, played, she's all-time great. I mean, I grew up watching her, the last 20, 25 years. My dad got me into it. And yeah, she's an all-time great. And I feel like she needs to be mentioned with the other greats, the Tom Brady's, the Michael Jordans, and all those guys, because she is an all-time great. And she had an amazing career. So I want to give her our flowers. For
sure. Jake, let the people know what you're hyped for, man.
Several things. First of all, Andrew mentioned the Disc Golf World Championship. I actually watched it. I was keeping up with it too. It was pretty great, especially to see Paul McBeth win that number 6, which I know a lot of people were saying he was on the downslope. I know he came in also with an injury with his left hand. He kind of had to figure out a new form for the championships. So that was kind of cool to see. But going into fantasy football, I had a couple drafts this weekend. But the most important one was last night. And Matt was there, Andrew was there. It was a great time. But your boy won best draft. I just gotta say that. Andrew doesn't believe it. Andrew doesn't believe it. This guy goes. He doesn't believe it. We had a friendly discussion in our chat earlier today about if running backs or wide receivers are more important. But if you guys have been listening to the show, our first show back, I told you I was gonna win. I was gonna win the fantasy football league, right? And your boy Sean kept mentioning about Christian McCaffrey. If he goes off, Micah, my address. I'll text it to you so you can just drop off the trophy now, okay? You can just drop it off real quick. I'll take care of it for you. You can have visitation rights. We'll work something out, all right? So I'm super excited for that. And then you see my hat right here? Los Yankees. Yeah, Aaron Judge is going ballistic right now. He hit home run number 54. Second time in his career he's hit in the 50s. And he's passing people that took PEDs, took steroids. You can't say Aaron Judge has taken them because he came into the league at 6'7", 200-something pounds. He's a linebacker, basically, playing baseball. So he's been like that his entire career. So it's just crazy.
I can't wait till he's a Red Sox.
He's not.
He's coming out west.
Yeah,
he's on west where he's from.
He's on pace to hit 65 right now.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Which is crazy. The most is 73, but people don't call that the real record because it was Barry Bonds. Everyone says it was tainted with steroids. As a Yankee fan, I'm just super happy to see that happen.
Yeah.
But really, man, everything's just going well right now. We have fantasy football, actual football starting. The podcast is going great. Andrew's here, and we're just having a great time, and we got some pretty cool things in store. I don't know if Matt's gonna mention it, but we have some pretty fun stuff coming up.
No, I am not going to mention it. You're just going to have to tune in each week to check out those new things. And that's going to do it for our episode here on Regular Guys Podcast. We can't thank you guys enough for listening. Continue to grow with us. Again, the road to 50 subscribers is well underway. We have a big shout out to our guest, our friend Fez, for coming on the show and talking football with us, dropping your bold takes for the season. Good sir, you are always welcome back. I also want to give one more shout out. Again, you don't see him, but just know when you're watching the videos, our editor PJ is going to work. Big things,
thanks PJ.
Big changes are coming. Just stay tuned. Each and every week he hits us with something new that he's working on, and we are just truly blown away from it. So those are my closing words. Fez, closing words for you, sir.
I would just say, Jake, worry about winning week 1 before you worry.
Oh no.
Well, week 1 is technically a bye week for me, so I'm not too worried about it.
All right.
So if you guys aren't catching Andrew's drift, me and him play week 1. So, and I won't say every time, but for the last 2 seasons at least, every time we play, for some reason, Andrew doesn't have a great season, but when he plays me, he has his record points for that season. And I still always find a way to win by 0.3 points. It's always the most ridiculous matchup ever. It's insane.
One time, a kicker last minute missed the field goal, and I lost. It's not this year. It's the Fez.
Any closing words there, Fez? Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Cool. Sean, closing words for us, gentlemen.
No, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe. We really appreciate everybody. Comment on any of the things we have down. Just comment and let us know what you think. We appreciate you guys. Much love.
Jake, hit us with your closing words and the outro.
Yes, sir. Appreciate all the love you guys are giving us, all the feedback that we're getting. We're sending it to PJ's way. We're talking about it in our chat. Things we can change, things we can improve. So just keep bringing it up. We love you guys. Appreciate the support. Comment, share, subscribe. Peace.
You are now listening to
Regular Guys Podcast.